I took an IELTS exam and received a band 8.5 for my IELTS writing task 2. And today I will show you how to write a full essay quickly, step by step, and get a great score. And if you're wondering why I know my task 2 result, that's because I requested a score breakdown, and you can read how to request one below. The results from British Council look like this. So I got a band 9, the top score for task response, that's how well you answer the task, and coherence and cohesion, which assesses if the essay is logically organized, if the ideas are linked together. So that was also a 9. And a band 8 for vocabulary and grammar, which I'm really happy about because I did try to keep my essay relatively simple. So here is how I wrote that essay and how you can write yours to get a high score too. So first of all, read the topic very carefully. Some people like to try new things. For example, places to visit and types of food. Other people prefer to keep doing things they are familiar with. Discuss both these attitudes and give your own opinion. In this essay, we need to cover 3 things. Can you see them? So the first view or attitude, trying new things. The second attitude, preferring things you or they already know. And the third, your opinion about both attitudes. Also, note the examples in the task, places to visit and types of food. I'm going to use examples of these in my essay. So our essay needs a clear structure for a high task response score to make sure we don't go off topic and answer the question very clearly. And a big part of that is planning. I always make a quick plan with my ideas and opinion. In this case, which attitude is better? What do you think? Trying new things or sticking with familiar things? There is no right or wrong answer, but I think both attitudes have their pros and cons. So even though the essay type is discuss both views and give your opinion, we're going to write about the advantages and disadvantages or pros and cons of each view or attitude in a separate body paragraph. By the way, I have a free PDF with sample answers to all 5 types of tasks, and you can download it at the end of this video. Now, what are these pros and cons? Try to look for simple ideas. I think trying new things helps you learn more and maybe see the world differently. It's also more fun. Life becomes more exciting when you do something new. But things can go wrong. A new dish could be too spicy, a new place could be disappointing. And it also takes more time and energy to find new things than just doing what you're used to. Now, why do people prefer familiar things? I suppose it makes them feel safe. When you already know what to expect, you won't be disappointed. But at the same time, if you know everything, you probably won't be delighted either, and your expectations won't be exceeded. And you have fewer new memories because you've already seen and done everything. Imagine going to the same restaurant over and over. What's the result of this? Well, you feel bored and probably feel stuck in your routine. So this is a basic structure, and I'm going to expand on these ideas and add examples in my essay. When you're learning how to write essays, you may need a more detailed structure that helps you develop ideas, like my course students do. But in exam conditions, that's enough. And I usually struggle with ideas, so I do my best to finish planning in not more than 5 minutes. Now, let's write the introduction. First of all, we need to introduce the task. What is the essay about? Some people love exploring, whether it's tasting new dishes or flying to new locations, while others prefer to stick to familiar routines. In this sentence, I've just paraphrased the task. Then I say what the essay is asking me to do and what my opinion is. Both approaches have their pros and cons, but ultimately, I believe it is best to combine the two in moderation. I tell the examiner straight away that I think the mix of both is best, and that makes my opinion very clear. It's easier to get a high task response score if you do it this way and don't keep them guessing until the end. Okay, the introduction should be short because body paragraphs are way more important. So let's get straight into it. The first paragraph is about the first view or attitude trying new things. What is good and bad about it? Visiting new countries on holidays, trying unfamiliar cuisine, and just generally looking for new experiences can broaden one's horizons, improve knowledge and understanding, and simply be a lot of fun. This sentence is touching on the examples given in the task and adds the benefits. It can improve your understanding of the world and it can be fun. Now, let's just expand on this idea a little bit. Large or small, each new adventure adds fresh impressions and makes life brighter and more colorful. There are no groundbreaking ideas, just simple thoughts that flow one from another. So we've presented the advantages. Now we need to show that we're switching to the disadvantages. And we do that with a linking word or a discourse marker, however. However, when seeking novelty, one must not only prepare to be delighted, but also to be bitterly disappointed. So this sentence is quite complex grammatically. First we have when seeking novelty. We don't have a subject. We're not saying when you are seeking novelty. The subject is one. When seeking novelty, one, and one means any person. This is a formal way to talk about one person without referring to anyone in particular. In IELTS speaking, we would say you when you are seeking novelty and so on. In writing, it's better to use one. In the same sentence, I also use the structure not only, but also. Not only to be delighted, but also to be disappointed. Again, this is an interesting structure and you can use it in your essay once, but if it feels a bit too much, it's better to be safe and make it simpler. For example, you could say, however, when someone is looking for new experiences, they may be delighted or disappointed. Same idea, but grammatically simpler. Now again, let's expand on this idea, adding the examples given in the task. The more new things one tries, the greater the chance that something may go wrong. An eagerly anticipated dish may turn out inedible, or a newly discovered location falls short of expectations. Here I'm trying to avoid repeating new over and over. So we have new things, eagerly anticipated dish, that's something you've been waiting for, and newly discovered location. In a Band 7 essay, you'll probably have more repetition. And to be honest, that's what I had in this sentence too, and then I added these more interesting adjectives when I was preparing the video for you. because initially I wrote this essay as part of my practice, as part of my preparation for my exam, and I wanted to keep it as close to the original as possible because I think it was quite close to my exam essay. So I wanted to keep it. I just improved a couple of words. Now, we have one more idea, and I'm going to add it very simply with another linker. Moreover, searching for something new requires time and effort, which can be exhausting. Not too subtle perhaps, but it will do. This is at the end of the first paragraph, the first view, now the second view. Make sure both paragraphs are of about the same length. Not exactly the same, but one shouldn't be very short. Today I'm touching on everything you need to do very briefly. And if you want detailed lessons on how to answer each question type, how to express your opinion, and how to improve your writing and speaking skills generally, you may wish to check out my courses. I'll link them in the description. Okay, at the beginning of the second body paragraph, it's important to make it clear what it's about. What's the main idea? And we do that in the first sentence. Choosing familiar options, on the other hand, feels safe. On the other hand is a good linker to show that this paragraph discusses the opposite view to the first paragraph. You can begin it with on the other hand if you prefer, or you can put it in the middle like I did. In any case, don't forget to separate it with commas. Now, let's expand on the last idea. What does it mean to feel safe? I'm going to give an example. A restaurant tested many times before will likely hold no surprises. It may offer the best table to loyal guests, and it will definitely feature a menu that is already known and liked. Here I used a semicolon to avoid splitting this sentence into two very short sentences. And now I think we need another example because we don't have that many ideas, and examples are a great way to develop the ideas you have. Even more importantly, returning to the same destinations, eateries, and hotels can protect visitors from a wide range of unexpected dangers and unpleasant experiences. Indeed, if you go to a new place, more things can go wrong than if you just go to a well-known restaurant, the one you've been to many times, right? Now, what are the disadvantages of choosing familiar options? We're contrasting the advantages with the disadvantages, and a good linker that can help is although. Although this approach provides a sense of safety, it also means that expectations will rarely be exceeded, and few, if any, new memories will be formed. In this sentence, we're contrasting the advantage, safety, with some drawbacks, that expectations won't be exceeded or it won't be better than you expect. To make it a little bit more interesting, I used the passive voice. Will be exceeded, will be formed. To make it simpler, we can use the active voice. New experiences will not exceed your expectations, and you will make a few new memories. But the passive voice is a good way to vary your grammar, and examiners do look for a variety of structures. Next. Since everything has already been discovered and experienced, one may soon feel trapped in a small comfort zone. So this is the present perfect passive. Everything has been discovered. You see, sentences are not too long, but they are complex. And a comfort zone is what you feel comfortable doing versus what makes you feel a bit anxious and stressed. And if your comfort zone is too small, you feel trapped in it. Now, if you want a high score, a band 7 or 8, it's important to finish your essay properly with a conclusion. And all you need here is to summarize the main points and restate your opinion. But I find that my students often forget the exact question and may go off track. So what I always do myself and recommend to everyone is to read the task just before writing your conclusion and answer it directly. To conclude, both of these approaches to traveling, dining out, and living life in general have their benefits and drawbacks. I'm not giving a full list of them because there were quite a few. I'm just mentioning them. And now, my opinion. So try not to repeat the exact phrases from the question or from your introduction. In my view, a healthy mix of new experiences and familiar favorites represents the best of both worlds. And the best of both worlds is a great idiom. It means you can enjoy the benefits of two very different things at the same time. Many idioms are very informal, but this one is not, so it's perfect for this essay. As I mentioned, I wrote this essay when I was preparing for my exam. So for 1 week before the exam, every day I would take a task 1 and task 2 and write my answers strictly in 60 minutes. And that was to figure out how much time I can spend on each part and what mistakes I make and how to get rid of them in 60 minutes. So that's something I highly recommend as a final stage of your preparation too. And this is one of the essays I wrote. It's been proofread professionally and we replaced a couple of words, so it's a little bit better than my exam essay, but still very similar. And it's 302 words long and it would get an 8.5 or 9. To download the essays of each type for your practice, you can click the link in the description box below. And if you want to prepare for your writing and speaking exams step by step, save time and achieve a better result, check out my online courses. So far we've had over 30,000 students and the reviews we're getting are so inspiring. Or you can start for free by watching this in-depth lesson on how to write a perfect introduction to your essay. This is a free preview of my Task 2 course. So thank you so much for watching me today. Good luck with your preparation and your exam. Bye!